Well, top of the hour, let's get you details about a tragedy in Jharkhand. A charter plane has crashed, killing 7 people on board. An air ambulance carrying 2 pilots, a patient, 2 attendants, a doctor and a paramedic has crashed in Jharkhand's Satra district. It was headed to the national capital and crashed at around 10 p.m. last night. Let's tell you what happened really. The aircraft, which is operated by Red Bird Airways Private Limited, took off from Jharkhand's capital Ramsi at around 7:11 p.m. at night, but it lost radar contact 23 minutes later. Search and rescue team, we're learning, is at the location, and the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, that is AAIB team, has been sent for investigation. Further information will be shared by the authorities, but that is what we are learning so far as the tragedy in Jharkhand is concerned. A charter plane that you can see on the screen has crashed, killing 7 people on board. In fact, the ambulance was carrying 2 pilots, a patient, 2 attendants, a doctor and a paramedic as well. It crashed in Jharkhand's Satra district. It was headed to the national capital. It happened around 10 o'clock last night. We're learning that it took off from the capital city of Jharkhand, Ranchi, at around 7:11 p.m. But it lost the radar contact 23 minutes later. The last time it was in contact was the radar of Calcutta, but a few minutes later it lost the contact. As you can see on the screen, the search and rescue team is at the location, and the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, that is AAIB, will be arriving there today, is what we are learning, and they will start the investigation about what really happened, what was the cause behind this air crash, was it because of the bad weather or because of the technical fault. All right, now we have a breaking update coming in, a statement that is coming from DGCA. They have issued a statement on air ambulance crash at Satra district in Jharkhand. It details what, how and when the airline lost control. However, no details have been given as about the reason behind this crash. So that's the latest coming in. As far as the statement by DGCA is in fact concerned, they have detailed what really happened there, what, how and when the airline lost control. All right, so we will take you through that statement that is coming from DGCA, but the situation on the ground is quite concerning. We're learning that there has been a tragedy in Jharkhand. A charter plane has crashed, killing 7 people on board. That included 2 pilots, a patient, 2 attendants, a doctor and a paramedic. In fact, the patient suffered from 60% of burns. He was being taken to the national capital for further treatment, and that is when this incident took place around 10 o'clock in fact last night. It took off around 7 o'clock and crashed 23 minutes later. Let me take you through what DGCA has stated in the statement. It reads, and I quote, on 23rd of Feb, Red Bird Airways Private Limited aircraft operating medical evacuation air ambulance flight on the sector Ranchi, Delhi crashed in the Panchayat of Satra district in Jharkhand. There were 7 persons on board, including 2 crew members. The aircraft was airborne from Ranchi at around 7:11 p.m. last night. After establishing contact with Calcutta, aircraft requested for deviation due to weather. At 7:34, that is 22 minutes later, aircraft lost communication and radar contact with Calcutta at 100 north NM southeast of Varanasi. District Administration Search and Rescue team is at the location, and AAIB team is being dispatched for further investigation. Further information will be shared. So that's the initial statement that is coming from DGCA as far as the crash there in Satra is concerned. They are stating that this flight took off at around 7:11 last night, but 22 minutes later it crashed. It lost the communication and the radar contact with Calcutta is what we are learning. As far as the crash is concerned, now we have an official statement. Have a look at what the DC of Satra district has said.
क्रैश हुआ है ड्यू टू थंडरस्टॉर्म। तो जैसे हम लोगों को इन्फॉर्मेशन पता चला, हम लोग मेडिकल टीम के साथ जो है रश किए यहाँ पे, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली डॉक्टर्स का टीम इन्होंने फाउंड डेड डिक्लेयर किया। तो हम लोगों ने उनका बॉडीज को निकाल करके पोस्टमार्टम के लिए और फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए भेजे हैं।
टोटल नंबर अपडेट अगर आप बता सकें।
टोटल 7 लोग हैं।
इसमें क्रू मेंबर भी हैं और
टोटल 2 क्रू मेंबर्स हैं और बाकी 5 लोग जो है पेशेंट्स और पेशेंट के परिवार के लोग हैं।
सर कहाँ के ये लोग थे, कुछ आइडेंटिफाई हो पाए?
बाकी डिटेल जो है वो हम लोग खोजने के लिए जो है व्यवस्था कर रहे हैं।
एंड डेब्री और हटाने का क्या प्रोसेस है?
इसमें जो है कल सिविल एविएशन मिनिस्ट्री से जो है टीम आ रहे हैं, वो लोग इसका ब्लैक बॉक्स जो है आइडेंटिफाई करके इसका एक्सीडेंट का कारण वगैरह वो लोग ढूंढेंगे।
For more on this, let me go across to my colleague Rajesh, who's been tracking all the details. Rajesh, this is the second such crash of a charter plane in less than 1 month. Earlier, Ajit Pawar's charter plane crashed on Jan 28th, and now this. What are you learning about the reason behind the crash? Take us through the details.
Exactly. That is the second crash in the same month, and the reason is being determined by the investigation, and the investigation has already been initiated, and the exact reason would be determined after completion of the investigation. But since now, till now, the officials are detecting that there was a thunderstorm was happening, so bad weather could be a reason behind this accident, behind this crash. But exact reason would be determined after the investigation only. Till now, that has been confirmed by several authorities that there is no sign of life. Everyone, total 7 people on board have lost their lives in this plane crash, in this air ambulance crash, and all those body parts were rescued and taken to the hospital for post-mortem process. The post-mortem will be done today, and after that, the detailed report will be submitted on behalf of the hospital to the police authority. An investigation is already being conducted by the authority. DGCA has confirmed that, and what we are learning from the DGCA that there are total 7 people on board, including a patient who had suffered 63% burn injury in an accident, following which he was undergoing treatment at ICU, following which he was being taken to Delhi for advanced medical care. And along with the patient, there were 1 doctor, 2 attendants, and 1 paramedic staff, and 2 pilots. Total 7 people were there on board, and the air ambulance at that aircraft took off from Ranchi, Jharkhand's capital, Ranchi, at around 7:11 p.m. in the last evening, following which the aircraft lost its contact from the radar at around 7:34, because as per the DGCA's version, they could establish their contact with the ATC of Kolkata airport at around 7:34 p.m. in the evening, following which the aircraft lost its communication, and it lost from the radar network of ATC Kolkata airport, following which the aircraft has crashed in Jharkhand area. And right now, DGCA has already confirmed that 7 people have died in this crash, and investigation has already been initiated. The exact cause of the accident will be determined after the proper investigation only.
All right, so the probe has started, and we're learning that during the day, the team of AAIB will be arriving at that spot to carry out the investigation and also take out the black box. Thanks so much, Rajesh, for getting us all those details.